Hi there. Today I'd like to talk about 5 different types of leadership. Now, bearing in mind when you're talking about leadership and management, you've got to take into account that all leadership and management experience and styles are from people's interpretation of what they have learned. You're not born with this ability. So bearing that in mind, everybody is going to have the same sort of styles in the same sort of way. So you may hear concepts you've already heard of before, and you may hear concepts that you've heard of before but are slightly different. This is just very much my interpretation of those experiences. So please bear that in mind and let's get into it. So the first style of leadership I'd like to explain is structural. Now, structural kind of leadership is very much where you have explained everything that needs to be done, you have explained the standard that needs to be set, and everybody knows what is expected of them and is also expected of you. So, with that in mind, you accept complete responsibility for what is happening and what is going on. You cannot pass the blame for anybody else because you have already set the structure. So you must bear that in mind when you use this kind of leadership. It is rewarding and you can push your goals even closer very quickly, especially if you know exactly what needs to be done. If your team is trained and motivated and ready for this, then this will work really, really well. There is a downside, however, to structural leadership. It's not very innovative. It's not very getting the team involved. It's not very much innovation driven. It's very much, we have our set of procedures, we have the structure, we just need you to follow what is put in front of you and we will succeed. So that's the first kind. The second time is participated, where you make the team feel very much like you care about them. And you should care about your team because ultimately they're your responsibility. So it's more of like a friendship factor, almost like a family vibe. You're very much part of each other, you're here for one and one for all, that kind of feeling. Now, this style boosts your team's morale over time and also builds that bond with the team. They trust you, you trust them, everybody knows their place within that little family unit. It also works best when you have fresh ideas and you need new perspectives because you are more willing in that sort of mindset to accept what they're trying to tell you and bring it on board and push forward with it. But you also have to offer the support and open that door so that they can do that. It's a good one when you're maybe taking over a new team and you need to build that trust and that development to start within a team of getting to know the individuals. Because when you take over a team, you're not going to know every individual 90% of the time. So you're going to have to almost bring that friend vibe to it. But the downside of this type of leadership, but if you rely too much on everybody else and all their ideas, you can also stifle your own ideas. And also that can affect your management style. That can affect what actually gets done in the workplace or within your team. Your productivity may be stifled because everybody is just trying to push their own vision. The third type of leadership is servant leadership. You'll see this as your job is to serve the team's needs. Whatever they need, you will be there to fulfill. So you will uphold the rules, you will manage other people, you will make sure you manage them how you yourself would like to be managed. Everyone understands the job fully, and if they don't, you are there to help, support and drive them forward. You offer training or improvement, whatever is necessary to make them feel like you are there for them and to help them all the time. This helps employees learn vital skills and move up within their own personal belief, not only belief system, but what they believe that they can and cannot do. Because you may see individuals doing more than they actually believe that they can do. So their feedback truly matters to you with this, because this kind of leadership, you're bringing your not own style of management and leadership, but you're trying to progress this individual as well. So with a diverse team, and it's all personalized management, that you have to require a different concept for each individual person. So bear that in mind when you're doing this, because if you've got a larger team, this may be more difficult. So you may want to break it down into more like team-based styles within that. So it does help with a great deal of respect. People will respect you more for this, and it builds loyalty and a strong culture within your team. This could lead to your team running the show, however. They have to be aware that you are still in charge of this team. Although you are very much trying to support them and be there for them, they are still there to provide a service or do a job. The fourth kind of leadership is freedom leadership. If you give your people the freedom to just do what they know how to do. So let me take you a little example with this one. If you have a team that knows really well their job, they know what they're doing, they know what's expecting of them, so you can just give them the freedom to just get on with their job. You know, they're very entrepreneurial, they're very spirited, they're very, you know, they don't need a lot of hand holding in that sort of respect. It's styles used with, basically you've got to be experts in your field to use this sort of style. But you may have a member within the team that is one of these people that you can take this type of leadership with and then use other types with the others. But it won't work if your team isn't experts in what they do, or they're very proficient in what they do. It just won't build an environment where you can leave them alone, you can have that freedom, and they can also have the freedom to not only do the job, but it's also to do the job to their best of their ability. And again, it needs to offer your support. Now, the fifth one I'd like to talk about is transformation. Now, this is a personal favourite of mine. It's just because it helps not only the team, you are actively helping your team members become not only better at their job, but hopefully improve as individuals. It's tapping into their hopes, their mindsets, and where they want to go. So you've got to understand this individual on more of a personal level to help transform this. You may know them, they may be very money driven, they may be very home life driven, they may be very promotional and title driven. You learn how they are, you can adapt this kind of transformational leadership to help them achieve their goals. It requires ownership on your behalf, so you are literally taking ownership of them and their future in your own hands within your own team and leadership style. So you want to focus on building a core friendship with this kind of one, because these people are going to remember you. They are going to be part of not only their journey, but your journey as well. So if you find an individual that is defiant or unwilling to change, this can have a massive impact on this kind of leadership. They may not want you to help them in these areas. They may not need you to help them in these areas. They may be very driven enough, and they may have a very strong view on what their future looks like. And what you have to remember is, with all these styles, it's not a set style. You may have to adapt all 5 of these styles into one conversation with a team of people. So let's say you have a group of individuals and you're having a team meeting. You may need to use all these different styles because people aren't machines. They all work differently. People are very emotional, so they all have different kinds of drives and different kinds of attitudes towards what they're doing in life. So all these different kinds of leadership are needed. They're all required, but how and when you use them, that's the skill that's involved. You need to adapt your style within the different kinds of moments. So when I say that leadership is learned, it truly is, and it's learned through experience. Your experience as a leader will change. Your knowledge as you move through your leadership journey will change. So you will pick up different styles and different ways of interacting with people using these 5 styles. and you will then be able to get the most out of your employees, your team members. And don't forget, you don't have to be a manager to be a leader. You can just be an influential member of the team that can also use these styles. So I really hope this has helped you today, and if you do like it, please think about subscribing and liking this video. Okay, I'll catch you in the next one.